have you actually experienced any real racism in the NBA?
No.
Never.
Real? No. When I really judge it, I'm looking at the behavior, right? Like, same thing with like someone like Trump, right? Oh, he's racist. But every rally he does, it's all black music. It's not. It's Rihanna. I can hear Rihanna. That's Rihanna, right? That sounds like Rihanna, right? And then it switched to John Legend. That's black right there. Beyonce's next. Like this is not like he's playing Taylor Swift and Lady Gaga all day. Like, come on. Like, that's the pay attention to.
Okay.
This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com. TatumStore.com. Get your merch link in the description section. Get you one of these shirts. What would Trump do? We have a what would Reagan do? And we also have a shirt that says my pronouns are USA. Go on right now and get you one of those shirts. Links are in the description section. Like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you get notifications. Anytime I go live, make a video, make sure you still subscribe to this channel. Like this video, comment for this video. Let's get into this. It literally makes my blood boil when I read articles like the one from Town Hall that says American pride nears record low. How is that even possible? And that's because of indoctrination. That's because people are so coddled in freedom and safety and security that they forget where they came from. Talk about racism in America. A lot of these other places are prejudiced and racist to an extent in which you would not imagine. But yet you complain about the United States of America. You are a complete coward if you decide that it's not worth celebrating 1776 and our independence. You are a coward.
Your time with the NBA in terms of players, coaches, etc. Have you actually experienced any real racism in the NBA?
No.
Never.
Real? No. The reason I say no is when you're talking about racism, right? You're talking about, I hate the fact that you exist, right?
Yeah.
The color, I don't care you. Now, you're telling me I go to Boston and then there's 22,000 people, right? You guys are supposed to be racist, right? Your whole team's black, right?
Yeah.
Now, real racism means you're not even in this building. You're not, it's basically this team, get it all white, okay. I'll come back.
Okay.
Right?
Well,
that's racism to me.
I got you. But saying, okay, I don't believe that you should exist and I hate your existence and I think you should die. Yes, that's Nazi Hitler racism. Mm-hmm. But saying, I don't consider you an equal. Yes, I admire certain things about you, but I wouldn't let you date my daughter. I wouldn't invite you to my home. I don't think you're as intelligent as I am, or some other. That's all racist.
Yeah, but I have on your jersey, I have on your shoes, I buy your product. Sounds stupid.
Sounds stupid.
Again, you know what I mean? It just fucking sounds stupid. I'm up there cheering and you can't date my daughter, but can you take a picture with her? It's stupid. Right? It's just like, come on. I don't know what fucking book you're reading from, but it's not the book that I've learned, right? And that's why I say, you give me Duke. Duke probably wouldn't even show up to a game that has all black people. I'm pretty sure he doesn't even go to sports games, right? That's real racism. That's someone who says, hey, I don't consider none of this valuable. So, when I really judge it, I'm looking at the behavior, right? Like, same thing with like someone like Trump, right? Oh, he's racist. But every rally he does, it's all black music. It's not. That's Rihanna. I can hear Rihanna. That's Rihanna, right? That sounds like Rihanna, right? And then it switched to that's John Legend. That's right there. Beyonce's next. Like this is not like he's playing Taylor Swift and Lady Gaga all day. Like, come on. Like, that's the I pay attention to.
Okay.
Like, I hear words, but then I look at action, and action speaks very loud to me.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, we're in a very hypersensitive time, 2023, with social media and everything else like that. And anything that's remotely racist gets amplified.
Yes.
A lot.
Remote.
And that's just
the remote. It's the remote part of it then versus the real.
Yeah. And anyone that says things that could be interpreted as racist will go down as a fact of being racist. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the reality of today, which is why you have to be extra careful. You know what I mean? You just have to you have to watch what you say. And,
The fact that you have to watch what you say means you can say, oh, that's racist. You can't naturally just talk about racism because you're racist. Like, they're going to everything.
I got you.
They're going to trick you.
Just take a history lesson. Go and look at other nations. Go and look at this place before it was settled. Go and do your research. And think of all the people that have died hoping and praying that there could be a free country like there is today. Do a little research. Learn a little history. There is no perfect nation. And we have been striving from the very beginning to make a more perfect union. And if you don't understand that, you're a complete fool. I'm just going to call you a fool. I ain't holding nothing back. You have no excuse not to understand your history. You have no excuse not to acknowledge the sacrifice that was made so you can sit on there and complain on your YouTube channels and your social media, complain on national television, the sacrifices that were made so you can do that. You're a fool if you haven't done your research and haven't considered how great it is to be an American. And I get sick of the ungrateful. I just leaving Israel just makes me think of all those people who died trying to settle and establish something great in Israel. All the Jewish people that have died, all of the kingdoms that were overtaken and all this other stuff, the battles and the wars and the murder that occurred. And now you see that Israel is at the point that it's at. And I think of all the bloodshed and all the lives that were sacrificed, the people who died, and they died for a reason and a mission. And there's still conflict in that region. And then I go and look at America, because the conflict that I see in Israel was thousands of years of conflict, thousands of years of dynasties reigning, the line of David, and you go down the list, and I see we walked on the ruins of thousands of years ago where people lived, and many of the established kingdoms had to be excavated. And I look at our brand new country in comparison to the history in Israel. A couple hundred years ago, we were established. And in that, we have accomplished so much at such a small period of time. And we have the ability to experience some of the greatest freedoms and the greatest in the greatest country to ever exist. But with people being so ungrateful, we will end up being like the civilizations from 2,000 years ago, where you have people going and touring and walking on the remains of what was. America has the ability to be great and be even greater as the years go along. But the foolish amongst us, the ungrateful amongst us, will have this country being in ruins, where generations will say, look at what they could have been. Look at what they should have been. And it's sad to think that that's where we could be headed. Beautiful buildings. You look at New York City and you say, how could we come up with such a beautiful, robust city of such diversity? And you watch the leadership tear down a city of such beauty and greatness. You look at California. You look at some of the most prominent places in our nation, and you watch them completely be dissolved. And a lot of it is because of the ignorant folks amongst us who hate this country and can't tell you why. They hate liberty and freedom, but can't tell you why. It is mind-blowing to me. Gallup released their findings of how proud respondents were of America. In 2023, this year, the number who responded that they are extremely proud was just 39%, which is almost as bad as the record or the recordings of the respondents just last year at 38%. And it's not shocking to me that only 22% or 29% of Democrats answered that they were extremely proud of this country. You know, I just, for the life of me, I don't understand how people are so ignorant. You know, I see a lot of people yesterday, a lot of people on television, a lot of celebrities, a lot of black folks, and a lot of left-wing liberals complain about the United States of America and how we ain't really made no real progress. The fact that it's almost impossible to believe that we had separate water fountains in this country shows you the immense progress that we have made. My grandmother was around when they had separate water fountains. That is unfathomable to me today. There is nowhere near the amount of racial tension that there was 50 years ago, 60 years ago. But we haven't progressed anywhere. At one point, black people were slaves in this country. And people would not even believe that was possible if you hadn't read a history book and seen videos and photos for yourself. That's how far we have come. And if people were intelligent enough to learn the history, you wouldn't even be complaining about slavery at this point. You wouldn't even be complaining about the woes that we've experienced in this country, because every country has had its ups and downs. And black people weren't unique to that. Read your history and you will learn that white people were slaves too. You will learn that white people were lynched too. You will learn that black people owned slaves too. You will learn that there were people that were in this country that never owned slaves, never supported slavery. Slavery never exists in the area that they had control in. Always supported freedom. And that side won. And that's why we're here today. But if you don't know your history, you'll forever be ignorant. And I have no mercy for ignorant, stupid people that literally run our country to the ground. We should be united. We should be in love with the idea of America. We should be in love with the progress that America has made. We should be working together to fix the things in which we still need to work on, instead of nagging and complaining like idiots. Now, I know everybody that's watching me is very proud of this country. You had an incredible celebration yesterday. Tears come to my eyes when I think of the triumphs that we have experienced in this country. And I do not understand why a black man and a white man can't look at each other and say, I love you. I'm proud of where we've come from. And let's grow and build and prosper together. Look at each other and say, your color don't mean a hill of beans. It's your personality and character that I care about. And brother, if we on the same page, I don't care what pigmentation of skin you have, we're gonna do this thing together. Y'all hold the phone. I'll be back in a minute.